Day 9 of Storytime with Robert Williams. Marvel Avengers, the case of the missing flirt. It was a beautiful day in lower Manhattan. Carol Danvers was enjoying her usual morning routine. She grabbed the newspaper, flipped to the funny pages, poured herself a bowl of cereal, and reached out to pat Chewie's head. But Chewie wasn't there. Chewie is Carol's pet Flerken and looks just like a cat. Chewie, Carol called. Breakfast time. But Chewie was nowhere to be found. Is she hiding, Carol thought? Maybe she fell asleep between the sofa cushions. After searching her flat, Carol began to worry, and maybe Chewie had got out. Searching the flat. Carol was worried. Where could Chewie have gone? Did someone take her? Suddenly she noticed the file on the table. Moonstone, her old arch-nemesis, had recently popped back up and always had it in for Carol. In fact, Moonstone had disguised himself as Carol before, so maybe she tricked Chewie into leaving with her. Looking at the picture of Moonstone. Carol changed into a Captain Marvel suit and prepared to begin the search for Moonstone, where more eyes were always helpful on the mission. Let's see who might be available, she said to herself. Captain Marvel decided to call her pal, James Rhodey Rhodes, otherwise known as War Machine. She rocketed off to the Avengers Tower where War Machine was working. Her looking for the possible people, and her going to the Avengers Tower. Rhodey was in the super boring meeting when Captain Marvel flew up to the top floor window to get his attention. I need your help on a mission to rescue Chewie, she told him. You sure she's not, in your sweater drawer or something? Rhodey asked. Captain Marvel shook her head. Moonstone had stolen Chewie. She was sure of it. Rhodey agreed to help, and they set off to solve the case of the missing Flerken. Meeting. Carol knew that Moonstone would make it hard for her to find Chewie. Moonstone wouldn't hide just anywhere, even if she was still on Earth. War Machine looked around the top of Mount Everest while Captain Marvel searched the bottom of the ocean. They met up again in Sahara, but neither of them found Chewie. Maybe she's not on Earth after all, Captain Marvel said. Space is big, War Machine commented, but Captain Marvel wasn't worried. I have lots of friends, she said. Then searching Earth. Two heroes travelled to a bunch of different star systems and asked everyone if they had seen Chewie. But nobody knew anything about Moonstone kidnapping a cat off Flerken, and nobody knew where Moonstone could be hiding. Them asking people. Captain Marvel asked the Guardians of the Galaxy over a game of ping pong. I don't know nothing, Rocket confessed. I don't even like Flerkens. Captain Marvel couldn't believe it. She was back to square one. Finally, Captain Marvel noticed a cluster of black holes in a relatively empty quadrant of the Milky Way galaxy. Those weren't there before, she exclaimed. The only person I know who could create black holes like that is Moonstone. What are we waiting for, Rhodey said. Her playing ping pong and then them looking at the black holes. Rhodey used these navigational skills to pilot them to Moonstone's lair. Hidden on an asteroid between the black holes, the heroes burst in and confronted Moonstone. Where's my cat? Flerken, Captain Marvel yelled. Moonstone leapt up and immediately burst lasers beams at old enemies. Fighting. Rhodey managed to block the laser beam, but Captain Marvel wasn't ready. She gathered her own energy and hurled it at Moonstone. Soon Captain Marvel and Moonstone were sending zaps of energy across the layer until finally two of the blasts met. Boom! The two blasts of energy burst against each other and exploded, knocking everyone back. Two blasts hitting each other. Why are you even here? Moonstone yelled. Captain Marvel showed her a picture of her pet. You sold Chewie and I want her back. Moonstone shook her head. I didn't take Chewie. I'm lying low and trying to stay out of trouble. Chewie is not here, Rhodey said. Let's head back to New York. I'm asking about the cat. Flerken. Captain Mother was embarrassed and sad. She really missed Chewie, and had been sure she'd find her with Moonstone. If she wasn't there, where on earth could Chewie be? Captain Marvel flew back to Carol's flat in New York. Did you check your sweater drawer? Come on, Rhodey, I looked everywhere. Just check one more time, Rhodey suggested. Then back at the flat. Chewie! Carol exclaimed. You're all right, Rhodey, because she was here the whole time. Sure enough, she snuggled up in Carol's furriest jumper, perfectly content after a nice warm nap.